Knitting pink pussy hats for women of the American resistance has helped my friend Eva Thieme stay sane in a world that often seems to have run mad. We met online when Sina commented on a blog post I'd written about creepy tyrants. Hitler, Stalin, Vlad the Impaler, they all had the uncanny ability to get ordinary people to commit extraordinary acts of cruelty. Sina and I both grew up wondering whether, if we lived under an evil dictator, would we have the courage to dissent and the wisdom to do it soon enough to make a difference? Sina grew up in a Germany still haunted by memories of World War II. As a child, she studied knitting in school, but she told me it was my grandmother who was my role model. She knitted non-stop while watching TV, especially her idol, Franz Beckenbauer. In 1991, Sina and her husband came to the U.S. for grad school. They raised their kids in the U.S., Singapore, and South Africa, became U.S. citizens in 2010, and eventually settled in Tennessee. To me, she said, America was the golden land. I loved that vision and still believe in that. Lately, however, she's observed some troubling developments.
Coming from a country like Germany, it just, I think, gives you a different perspective on that as well. Because, you can't ignore the past of that country. And, this very same grandmother that taught me how to knit was also a member of the Nazi Party, And to me, growing up, that was always so hard to reconcile. Like, how could this wonderful, caring, kind grandmother have, joined such an evil organization? And you always ask yourself growing up as a German, or we all did in our generation at least, what would I have done if I had lived at the time? Why didn't people put up some resistance? So the word resistance in general to me is a very powerful word. I love all novels about French resistance. It's just like one of those things that I think is very, very powerful, and something that I regret did not happen in Germany really much at all. I mean, it happened a little bit, but not enough. And so to me, that's a very powerful thought, that we can put on these hats, that we can resist together, and that we can recognize each other like that. And, that's what was missing. What if every German had put on a yellow star? Every single German. It seems like a pretty easy fix, but there was all this fear. But if enough people had done it, they wouldn't have had to be afraid.
Sina has informed her kids that if there ever is a Muslim registry in the U.S., their whole family is signing up for it. In the meantime, she and her teenage daughters, Maya and Julia, are knitting pink pussy hats, the kind popularized by January's Women's March. They sent a box of the pussy hats to me in Seville for the International Women's Day March. Living so far from home, this was the first time most American expats had ever seen an actual pussy hat. We were pretty excited. I asked Sina, what do those hats symbolize to you?
Speaking out, making yourself heard, a little bit of defiance in this instance, that we're not going to just be, brushed aside, and that we have a voice. And I think they also stand for solidarity.
We're going to need that solidarity now that white supremacists, the Ku Klux Klan, and Nazis are on the rise. I never thought I would see scenes like this in 21st century America. It's obviously going to take a lot more than pink pussy hats to change America's future. We're all going to have to work together to keep each other safe, to defend each other's rights, and to build a more progressive and humane political system. It won't be easy. Back in the 40s, it took 6 years to defeat the Nazis. Luckily, this time we're likely to be fighting it out in the courts, not the trenches. But we stopped the Nazis once, and if we have to, we'll do it all over again. And that's what the pussy hats symbolize to me. This is Karen McCann saying stay tuned because we're just getting started.